talking about 2022 is the year that Universal finally beat Disney. So Universal is the biggest animation rival to Disney. So they have two studios now that work for Universal. They have Illumination and now DreamWorks. DreamWorks is actually an independent studio, but they didn't want to work with Disney, which is to no one's surprise. So they chose Universal. DreamWorks has been basically the biggest competitor to Disney, essentially. We, and now Illumination as well. And I'm saying Disney because I'm including Pixar as Disney, because Disney is owned by Pixar. Oh wait, Pixar is owned by Disney. Sorry, but I swapped the words accidentally. The only company that really has competed was Blue Sky, which was shut down, and the only reason is because of the Ice Age franchise. 2010, the highest grossing animated movie of 2010 was Toy Story 3. Shrek Forever After came out, but even then, Disney only had 2 movies released that year. DreamWorks had 4, but Disney still beat all of them. Shrek Forever After was the only movie that passed Tangled Gold. But if Shrek Forever After didn't release that year or release in 2011, Disney will have dominated that year. 2011, Disney still did pretty well. Not as well as other years, but they only released 1 movie that year, and that was Cars 2. Disney Animation was kind of on a hiatus. Also, actually, they released Romeo and Juliet, which no one watched that movie. Everybody forgets that movie exists, but that was another bad year for Disney. The Paramount Pictures actually did pretty well that year, but DreamWorks defeated Disney that year. And Puss in Boots actually almost outsold Cars 2. So 2011 was a weak year for Disney. 2012, Ice Age Continental Drift was the last Ice Age film to reach the West, but Disney still did pretty well. Brave and Wreck-It Ralph, well, Brave was not really Brave was not really had aged well. Disney also released Frankenweenie, which is kind of an underrated movie, and Wreck-It Ralph released, which was extremely popular, and was more popular than I think the movies that made more money did it. It was more well acclaimed than the first 3 movies. But Disney did really dominate the rest. But one movie changed it all: Frozen. Despite competitors releasing movies such as Despicable Me 2, Turbo, and The Croods, and Incredible Returns of Meatballs, and Epic, Disney had 3 movies that reached the top 10s. Planes, which was a side movie. Monsters University, which was Pixar's movie of the year. And the only movie that passed Monsters University is Despicable Me 2. Frozen was the number 1 movie of the year, making $1 billion. Also, was the Power franchise, was made it more impressive, and Frozen was everywhere. 2014, Big Hero 6 was the highest grossing animated movie of the year. DreamWorks released the water movies that year, and 20th Century Fox also released the water movies that year. DreamWorks released 3 movies that year. Disney also released Planes, Fire, and Rescue. Also, the Lego movie released that year, but Disney, it was really about quality over quantity. Disney released movies, and they made a lot of, and they always topped the list. 2015, Minions was the highest grossing movie. Again, we don't have to explain why Minions was so popular, but even then, Inside Out beat most of the competition. And The Good Dinosaur did pretty well as well. 2016, Finding Dory was the highest grossing animated movie of the year, making $1 billion. Zootopia also made $1 billion. Moana also did pretty well, beating most of the other movies that were released that year that were animated. Also, animated movies started to become bigger and bigger and made by more studios as well. Well, Pets was the only movie that really cracked the Disney wall that year. 2017, Despicable Me 3 released that year, but 2017 was just a pretty bad year for film overall. Well, in terms of grosses, because a lot of sequels bombed. Coco, was the highest grossing Disney movie, and Cars 3 existed. It just seems like that Cars as a series has made worse money than Cars 2. The Boss Baby also came out and made a while. It was a super hit, basically. 2018, the extremely overrated Incredibles 2 was the highest grossing Disney movie, but Wealth Breaks the Internet also beat every other movie as well. And then 2019, yes, the Lion King remake is an animated movie since the movie was all CGI, but Disney completely dominated every other animated movie that released. Even sequels to big hits like Pets 2, How to Train Dragon: The Hidden World, and the Lego Movie 2 stood no chance to Disney. But then it all fell apart. 2021. Encanto was still the second highest grossing animated movie, but there wasn't really many animated movies released that year. It was kind of a bad year for animated movies, but Sing 2, made by Illumination basically became Disney's biggest competitor now, besides DreamWorks. But the thing with DreamWorks is DreamWorks had many bad years, making movies that basically didn't really do too well, because they wanted to basically appeal towards the trends. But 2022 might be the turning point for DreamWorks. Both The Bad Guys and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, along with, of course, Illumination's Minions: The Rise of Gru, all beat Lightyear. Lightyear was supposed to make $1 billion. Remember that. Every article was saying Lightyear was going to make $1 billion. And we have this comparison here for DreamWorks against Disney. Turning Red cannot be listed here because Turning Red was a streaming-only movie. So you only have Puss in Boots, The Bad Guys, Lightyear, and Strange World. DreamWorks released 2 movies this year, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and The Bad Guys. Also, Minions: The Rise of Gru released as well, making nearly $1 billion. But they were telling us when Lightyear bombed, that was because kids didn't want to go see the movie in theaters. Kids didn't have interest in seeing the movie in the theaters. But then, a couple weeks later, Minions: The Rise of Gru made so much money that they had to eat their own words. The movie did not make $1 billion, but the movie still made $949 million, which is an extremely respectable amount of sales. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish also beat out Lightyear worldwide. And also it's going to outgross the first movie domestically, and might even beat the first movie worldwide at this rate. The Bad Guys also made a lot of money. The Bad Guys beat Lightyear, which was a Toy Story movie. You gotta remember that Lightyear is a part of one of the biggest franchises in the world, Toy Story. Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4 made $1 billion. But Lightyear did not make $1 billion. Which basically meant that Toy Story had the highest grossing animated movie series to Despicable Me, which is pretty hilarious. Yes. The fact that Toy Story had to hand over the throne because Lightyear bombed to Despicable Me is pretty hilarious. And Despicable Me 4 is still coming out, which means, yes, there's also, Shrek also outsold Toy Story. Yep. But Shrek's only outsold Toy Story as a franchise, but Puss in Boots: The Last Wish actually boosted this. And now Shrek 5 likely coming out, this is going to be even worse for Toy Story. As Toy Story is going to be it's still going to be worse than Puss in Boots and Shrek and Despicable Me, which Shrek and Puss in Boots are part of the same franchise. The fact that a sequel to a spin-off sold better than a movie that was supposed to make $1 billion is pretty hilarious to me. Ice Age is also Lightyear was also able to make Toy Story 2 pass Ice Age, but as well, they still had to hand over the throne to Despicable Me franchise. And with the next Shrek movie coming out, I don't know if Shrek 5 will make $1 billion. I think it probably will, considering that Shrek has become even more popular than Shrek Forever After has came out. And people have been waiting to see the return of everybody's favorite ogre. Well, yeah, there was no chance that Toy Story is ever going to catch up to Shrek and Despicable Me. And I think that we might even get a new Shrek trilogy. G. And yeah, Shrek Forever After did exist, but we probably get another Shrek trilogy as well. And also, Kung Fu Panda is also getting a new trilogy as well, whereas Kung Fu Panda is the 10th highest grossing animated series of all time. And the fact that we're getting another trilogy of Kung Fu Panda means it's going to rise higher on the list as well. So, there is no way that Toy Story is going to survive the failure of Lightyear. Toy Story 5 will probably exist because Toy Story 4 made a lot of money. The as well. We'll probably get a Toy Story 5 probably around 2027 or 2028. 8. That's how they usually do these things. But Lightyear was kind of supposed to be like movies like was supposed to be like a spin-off, the movie that Andy went to go see, but nobody watched Lightyear as a movie. People said it was a poor rip-off of Star Wars, and yeah, that one scene that, well, that we didn't want to mention. Puss in Boots: The Last of Us and The Bad Guys was The Bad Guys is a new series by DreamWorks, outbeat a movie that was supposed to make $1 billion. And let's not forget Strange World. Strange World Radio costs way more money than The Bad Guys and Puss in Boots: The Last of Us. Both movies cost way more money. The Strange World cost around $145 to $180 million. Puss in Boots only cost $90 million. Yes, Puss in Boots is gonna make money, but you know Strange World's gonna lose hundreds of $1 millions for Disney. The reason why DreamWorks is making so much money with the movies is because both The Bad Guys and Puss in Boots: The Last of Us do not have no agendas in the movies. As we talked about with the worst grossing animated movie, why cartoons are dead, it's the same reason why Disney is dead now. Disney Animation and Pixar, both. Why there's no hype for Elemental, but why there's so much hype for Spider-Verse 2, Kung Fu Panda 4, and of course Shrek 5, and Despicable Me 4 even though those movies are more far off than Spider-Verse 2, it is because Disney keeps shoving agendas in the movies. And people just want to watch movies that are good. No movies with forced agendas in the movies. That's why Puss in Boots has had such amazing wings. Puss in Boots has zero agenda of right here in the movie. And just wants to tell a good story that kids and adults can enjoy. But of course, Disney cannot understand this, which is why animation is the way it is. But it seems that once, despite the king died, which is Disney, someone else will of course take the king's place. And we didn't have to wait that long for DreamWorks and Universal and Illumination, which are all the same company, to take. So Universal Disney had to hand over the animated crown to Universal. And I highly doubt that Disney is going to be the animated crown of 2023. The Mario movie is going to probably be one of the highest grossing movies of the year. And also, Spider-Verse would make a large chunk of money as well, as Sony Animation continues to improve on its style. And even DreamWorks is using the same style as Spider-Verse. There's a reason why the Spider-Verse art style and style of movie is so successful. Why Spider-Verse is so beloved, and why nobody likes Lightyear, and nobody likes Strange World, and nobody likes Turning Red. If you look at animated movies for 2023, you have the Mario movie coming out, you have Elemental, you have Spider-Verse sequel as well. In terms of animated movies, there isn't really many. You have another Paw Patrol movie, you have a sequel to Trolls, you have Riss. As much as I hate Trolls as a franchise, as much as I hate the idea of Trolls, again, Trolls is more of a girls franchise. I think Trolls 3 will outsell Riss. Riss will probably have some agenda attached to it or something, and it's not going to make that much money. Heck, the Paw Patrol movie could make more money than Riss. Disney is really at a rock in a hard place. It's really their fault. Elemental will probably make less money than the Mario movie and Spider-Verse. And we're really to see the death of Disney. The death of Disney, I think, is for the better if Disney continues to go down their agenda. If you got 2024, you have Kung Fu Panda 4 coming out. And also you have Chris Pratt's Garfield movie coming out. I don't know if that's animated or not, but it probably is. You have Inside Out 2 coming out. That's Disney animated movie. Of course, you have the Lion King remake sequel, prequel, sequel, as well. And you don't really have many movies for 2024. Yeah, Despicable will be 4 coming out. Will probably be the highest grossing animated movie of the year. As sequels to Disney remakes or prequels to Disney remakes typically do way worse than the first movie. We'll get Alice in the Wonderland, Alice for the Rookie Glass as well. So, yeah, Kung Fu Panda 4 is coming out. It'll probably continue the story of Kung Fu Panda as well. And 2025, you don't really have many movies besides Mecha Gator's sequel, Avengers King Dynasty, and several others coming out. And 2025, you don't really have anything. 2024 is still a pretty barren year. You just have DreamWorks, Universal, and major animated movies coming out. Also, you have Spider-Verse Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out. I didn't know that was coming out in 2024. So you have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse 2, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, Kung Fu Panda 4, and of course, you have Despicable Me 4 coming out. And also you have Sonic 3, if you want to count that as an animated movie, even though it's a live-action movie. I don't think Sonic 3 will pass Avatar 3, considering how much money Avatar 2 will make. I think it'll probably do similar to Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, really worldwide, in terms of rings. I think it'll make more money than that movie, but I think it'll have, in terms, similar rings to Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. The difference between Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 is Sonic 2 released in April. It was released as a front-loaded movie. As a movie that, hey, come out and see it, a movie that was going to make most of its money on its first week, and then make the rest of its money on its other weeks. Sonic 3 will probably be a movie that comes out and make around $30 to $40 million on its first week, but the whole thing is going to make, a lot of money throughout the New Year's week, between New Year's and Christmas. And 2023, the holidays, you have the Willy Wonka movie, you have Ghostbusters Afterlife 2. I actually really want to see that. It's a sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's called Ghostbusters Sequel, but it's a sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife. Which I'm glad that Ghostbusters Afterlife did well enough. Because besides the first Ghostbusters movie, it is one of the best. It is probably the second best movie in the series. Again, you only have 4 Ghostbusters movies. It's better than Ghostbusters 2. It's definitely better than that disgrace called Ghostbusters 2016. But Ghostbusters 2016 is basically like Dragon Ball Evolution. Nobody likes it. Okay. And of course, you have Aquaman The Lost Kingdom. Yeah. I don't think that movie is going to be making money. And that's basically about this video. So, the death of Disney. The death of the Disney Corporation. The death of Disney Animation. And we're seeing this year. Marvel has done well. But look at the highest grossing movies of the year. If you'll let me. The highest grossing movies of the year. Okay. You have 2 Chinese movies. Okay. The 3 Marvel movies that released this year. And Avatar. Those are the only Disney movies that released the list. Not even 5 movies made by Disney topped the list of 2022. And actually, yeah. So the other movies that reached the list was Top Gun Maverick, Jurassic World Dominion, Minions The Rise of Gru, The Batman. And if you ask the 2 Chinese movies, will include Fantastic Beasts and Sonic 2 in terms of Hollywood movies. Which means Disney only had 4 of the top 10. 3 of them were Marvel movies. So, yeah, Disney didn't really do too well this year. Paramount had 2 movies, and Paramount is considered one of the lesser studios. Warner Bros. Had 1 with 2 with the Batman. And Universal had the rest. Minions, Jurassic World. Paramount actually did better than they do most years. They actually have a new franchise, Top Gun, even though the movie did well because of Tom Cruise, and also it was a patriotic movie. But they could really expand the Top Gun universe if they know if they would have known how well Top Gun Maverick did. They could do spin-offs of the other characters. They could develop and flesh out the new characters in Top Gun. Because really, Top Gun Maverick was a passing of the Schwartz movie, kind of like Creed was. Okay, Top Gun Maverick was really a passing of the Schwartz movie. They could easily make the movie a series about Goose's son, as well, and also Sonic 2. Sonic is one of Paramount's biggest franchises. As much as even if you love Sonic as a character or not, Sonic 2 is one of Paramount's biggest franchises. This is. Now, Sonic as a series, and considering that Sonic has a big universe, but of the franchises that Paramount currently owns, they have TMNT. I think this will make those Top Gun, Transformers, and then you have Sonic. Okay, a lot of these movies, and of course Star Trek, but Star Trek is dead. A lot of these movies are not owned by Paramount anymore. For example, Indiana Jones, Marvel, DreamWorks movies before they went with Fox as well. And yeah, that is basically about this video. So yeah, Universal is now defeating Disney, and even Paramount, which exists now, is defeating Disney. Sonic 2. We can even add Sonic 2 in that comparison as well. Even though Sonic 2 is not an animated movie, it's also it's a live action movie with CGI hedgehogs, and of course Knuckles and Tails. We can add Sonic 2 into the comparison if we really wanted to. Yeah. Of course, Sonic 2 is going to be the highest grossing movie of the movies, but Sonic 2 made a lot of money. Okay? There was no disputing this. Okay, Sonic 2 made more money than, of course, Puss in Boots: The Last Visit, right? Bad Guys and Strange World, but Sonic 2 beat Disney. Sonic 2 beat Strange World's global gross in its opening weekend. That's pretty sad for Disney. Sonic 2 sold one of Disney's big movies in 1 week. It really shows you that Disney's dead. And Puss in Boots made more money than White Yell and Strange World. It really shows that Disney's dead. And that Disney is a dead company. Puss in Boots is going to probably be in theaters for a long time, considering that there's no movies coming out next month besides Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And there's no movies for younger audiences coming out, basically. Literally nothing. And really, just have Ant-Man if you want, or Puss in Boots. That's your only two options. Of course, it's what nice. Above after that, you have water movies coming out. But the next major animated movie is Mario. That's really the next major animated movie. So I think Puss in Boots will have legs similar to the bad guys, or even better legs as the bad guys. Okay, it will be in theaters for a while until Mario movie, and then it'll be kicked out of theaters, basically. As well. So that's basically what this video. So we're finally done with this video. Goodbye.